Hello and welcome to Yin Yoga with me, Kumari Sky. Today's theme is calming, meditative, quiet, inward. Yin Yoga is such a beautiful opportunity to connect with yourself, connect with all the sensations in the body, to notice the things that cross your mind. If that sounds good, I'll look forward to seeing you on the mat. So just making sure whatever props you have are available to you. We're going to start in a seated position. And really, any seated position is just fine. You don't have to have your legs crossed. You can have them out long. You could sit up higher if the knees are bothersome. Usually having the hips a little higher than the knees can be more comfortable. Ready to go a little more quiet now by closing your eyes. I'm just tuning into your positioning and offering yourself any adjustments at any time. And feeling the just gentleness, the easiness of your breath happening. You don't need to change your breath in any way. Be the observer of your breath. Can you start to notice the sensation of your breath down in the lower abdomen? So directly feeling the diaphragm at work. You might have heard of diaphragmatic breathing or belly breaths. This is what we're doing right now. And again, you don't necessarily need to change your breath, just change your focus. And this could feel like your navel expanding forward and then back towards the spine, or your belly blowing up like a balloon. And then let's check out the rib cage. I'm just feeling the natural expansion and contraction of the rib cage that, of course, is due to the lungs filling and emptying. The diaphragm moving down with each inhale, and the rib cage expanding with each inhale. Now, when we add in this pranayama practice, we're going to be doing Ujjayi breath. This is often referred to as the ocean breath, sometimes even the Darth Vader breath. It sounds like this. So in case you're not familiar, what I'm doing is squeezing the back of my throat ever so gently. It's not a hard squeeze. It's just a squeeze enough to make that ocean sound. Let's try it on the exhale a few times. right, so I take it you're probably understanding what we're doing. Now, would you like to try that on the inhale as well? And this isn't necessarily a super loud sound, like you're not trying to make it more than it is. It's just the sound that's happening all on its own. Notice if you've activated the muscles in your jaw or your shoulders. We want to keep everything really relaxed when we practice pranayama. And let's just pause, take a little break. So this breath, its qualities are innately calming. We're extending the exhale and the inhale and this fullness of breath. If we keep it nice and steady and calm, really instigates a parasympathetic nervous system response. If you found that doing it on the inhale as well felt a little stressful, you didn't enjoy it as much, totally fine to just do this on the exhale. So let's spend another moment doing this breath. And now upon your next exhale, we'll let this one go. Breathe naturally. And just start to move your head and neck. And there's no certain way that I'm asking you to do this. What I'd like you to do is just explore. And if there's little sticky areas that feel a little tight, give them some more attention. Our theme today, in case you just joined, is calm, calming, meditative, and inward. So I really invite you to move slowly and mindfully. And really this is the essence of what the Yin practice is. Good. All right, stretching up the arms overhead, and then take a side stretch. As we move into the practice, remember that we're practicing without any pain. We're practicing without major discomfort. Sometimes some of the poses will take us to a place that feels a little intense. And that is one of the qualities of Yin Yoga that we're cultivating. All right, so go ahead and stretch out your legs. Maybe doing some ankle circles here. Shaking out your legs a little bit. Awesome. So from here, we're going to move into what's called caterpillar pose in Yin Yoga. It's a seated forward bend. Maybe you know Janier Shirshasana. So I'm going to sit up on this firm pillow, but you can also use a folded blanket, your bolster, whatever you have. Legs out long. And all we're doing is leaning forward. Just letting the head hang down, letting the back round. Now, there might be some participants that rounding the back actually would not be a good thing. And that person could be someone with like a bulging disc or an acute issue in the lumbar area of the spine. For you, what I want you to do is come forward with a flat back and just go as far as you can, and then use some support. I'm going to use blocks here. You can make a little pedestal if you have 2 blocks in a bolster. Coming forward. Another thing people really like for both cases, whether you're rounding your back or keeping your spine straight, is just putting the bolster tucked into the waist and then coming down. You can do something like this. So in Yin Yoga, we have a lot of available modifications. And I really encourage you to explore and tune into your body and see what way of support serves you the most. You do not have to look like me. So I'm going to do something like this. First, let's look at where we're feeling sensation in the body. Are you feeling sensation in our target area, which is the whole spine? Perhaps a secondary sensation in the backs of the legs. And then noticing what your breath feels like here in this pose. And now that we've practiced that Ujjayi breath, we can use it during the practice as a way to guide ourselves more deeply inward. Whenever we create something to focus on, we're in a quiet environment, we're still in the body. This is the key to really being in the present moment. And everything arises in greater alignment when we're in a calm, meditative space. I'm going to have you here for 1 more minute. But of course, listen to your body. So let's tune into the breath. And just be here, allowing the body to open all on its own. Here's your little signal, the chime, that the pose is changing. Take your time to come upright again. Lean back into your hands. A little close to the plant here. And just bending the knees, doing some windshield wipers. Slow and meditative. Good. Next, we'll be coming to lay on our front sides. We'll be doing what's called a half frog. I'll show you the setup. If you have a bolster, that would be great to use. If you don't, you could, but you don't have a bolster, but you have blocks, you could line them up like this. You could do it on a folded blanket, a couch pillow. Just improvise. So join me on the front side. If you are a person in a body that isn't comfortable on your stomach for whatever reason, you can always do this laying a little more on your side. Notice if you are using the bolster, my knee to ankle is completely supported, but I'm going to switch back so I'm more on my stomach. Okay, you're finding the positioning, I trust. You can stay up here on your elbows. I also really like coming down and just resting my head. We're targeting the hip joint in this one, and we also are targeting the lower back as well. So just continuing to fine tune how you want to be as you practice this. In fact, if you do want to feel a little more squeeze in your lower back, you come up to your elbows in sort of a Sphinx position. This could be one of those poses that is a little more subtle as far as sensation goes. I don't know if there's a body that feels intensity in every single Yin Yoga pose. But that's the cool thing. Yin Yoga can be a very subtle practice. And so, in the case that you're not feeling a big sensation and you've done what you can to try to encourage that sensation, tune into the more subtle sensations in your body. And one of those that is especially great to tune into is the movement of your breath and how it affects your tissues, how it feels on your skin. So taking a little deeper journey into the inside of the body, as if you're following your breath happening from the inside out. Well, I can't reach the chime. So go ahead and just push yourself up. Here's your verbal cue. And just straightening out that leg. Something I enjoy doing after this is bending the knees and doing belly down windshield wipers. Hello, if you have just joined, welcome. Let's do the other side. Tuning into your own setup. Again, the intention is to feel sensation in the joint of the hip, maybe a little bit in the inner thigh. You can do whatever feels right in your upper body. And let's bring back around that Ujjayi breathing. And remember, it's always your choice if you're going to do it on the inhale and exhale or just on the exhale. natural for the mind to get a little more active in all this stillness and quiet. And that's an even greater reason to focus on your breath and come back to the moment, come back to what you're doing. The past and the future have no place in your yin practice. This is your time to be fully present. There's our chime signaling us that we will let go of this one. And let's push up to all four position and feel some cat and cow movements here. Nice job, everyone. I know you're doing great. We are going to take a child's pose now. If you have a bolster, that can be really nice to come down on. One of the ways I like to do is I'll push it back and then have my head hanging off. There's ways to modify this. If you find that your knees are a little cranky, lift your hips a little higher, perhaps slide a pillow or a rolled blanket between the backs of your thighs and calves. You can also raise the floor up, like put some blocks under your bolster. So many options. And if none of that is going to work for you, another thing you can do is just lay down flat on your bolster. And just getting yourself settled. Feeling all the places that there's some pressure. Perhaps sensing how the body is letting go a little bit more, a little bit more. There's a subtle spine lengthening that happens in child's pose. You can continue to stay in your child's pose. I just sat up because I thought maybe the microphone was getting squished. And now return to what we were doing in our opening meditation, feeling the breath at the abdomen. You might even feel the abdomen pressing into the bolster if you're on one. And then begin to sense the breath at the rib cage. Tuning into the sacred movement of the lungs. And a deep sense of softening, of calm. A feeling of literally taking a journey inward. We'll be here one more minute. Always the option is available to you to come out early or stay longer. Planting the palms on the floor, rising upward. Take time to stretch out your legs. You could even do a downward dog here if that sounds nice for you. Just give yourself a moment to come back from that shape. Now moving into our next one. This one is called Square. You can also turn it into what's known as shoelace. So I'll give you all of these options. Definitely most bodies will benefit from sitting up on something. This is a really firm pillow. I mentioned also you can use a folded blanket as well. So here I am up on it and I'm kind of sliding off of it a little. I'm bringing my right leg in front. So it's a little different than, say, your average crossed leg position. When we do that, we usually pull our legs in. I don't know if you can see, but like there's no space right here. In square pose, we're pulling our legs away. Did you see that? And I'm trying to keep my heels and my knees in alignment. Then when I attempt to lean forward, I'm feeling a big stretch in this side of my body. I'm feeling a little on this side too. You can just be like that. People love to hang out on a bolster just to let the body melt. And then of course you have the option, if you have blocks, you can do something like this. And I said shoelace, but I meant fire log. To make this shape a little more sensational, you can take your front leg and put it on top of that one. Notice that this knee is not doing this. If you tried this and your knee won't go down any farther, don't do this one yet. That's hard on your joints. Come back to the first one. And then we'll lean forward. So choose your own adventure. And just like in the beginning when I talked about if you do have anything going on with your back, you can keep it straight. But if this is not working for you, I'm going to give you another alternative, and it's called reclined figure 4. So you're going to get the same sensation, but you are taking it out of the equation for your back. All right, so just settling in whatever way is serving you best in this moment. We don't usually suggest too much movement while we're practicing Yin Yoga. But in this one, I have found over time and practice that, see how I'm gently just kind of swaying from side to side? Milo liked that. I don't think you can see him, but he's laying right here. Maybe you can see part of him. Yeah, so that swaying can be really helpful in just asking your hip to release a little bit more. And you can switch to that fire log position at any time if you're starting to feel like, I'm not really feeling that great of a stretch anymore. And that's what we're doing in Yin Yoga all the time. My teacher calls it playing your edge. And that means that we keep adjusting so we have a greater sensation if we want, and if it's possible. It's not always going to be possible. And we're not always going to want to. Hi, Milo. Oh, I wish you could see him. He's so cute. Come over here so the people can see you, kitty cat. Over here, baby. No. You know how cats are. Marinating here for 1 more minute. Returning to that Ujjayi breath. Dropping back into the depths. rising upright. Before we head in to the other side, just double check you know what leg's in front. We're going to do a few counter poses. The first one is windshield wipers. And then offering a reverse tabletop. Try this a few times if you'd like. Kind of like a little reset for the second side. Other leg in front. Just deciding what version is going to work best for you on this side. As I'm sure you all know, the hips have their own way about them. They can tend to be a little tight. All right, so now we are going to do this one for 4 minutes. Finding your place to settle. But knowing at any time if there's a feeling of kind of like stuckness or extra tight, you can take those little subtle sways from side to side. Close your eyes and interiorize your awareness. Ujjayi breath. The hips in your tissues. The tissues in your hips. I was thinking they're just softening and melting. You're always having the opportunity to deepen or lessen the sensation. And all of this contributes to the sense of peace in your body. You know, this isn't a good time to lick yourself, Milo. They can all hear that. Imagine you could breathe your breath right into the sensations you're feeling in your hips, thighs, lower back. And just be silent for the last minute here. Hello. We're being silent. There's your time in square or fire log, whichever one you chose. Again, we'll take time to gently move the body. Now we'll move on to the back. You can definitely have something under your head if you find that to be comfortable. And we're going to ultimately get into a twist. But first, I'd like to do this little counter pose. So once you're on the ground, step your feet wider than your hips. Let your right leg drop in and then take your left foot and put it here. One more breath. Now switching sides, stepping wide, dropping the leg in. Breathe in. Bring yourself back to center. Thank you, Carol. Now we're going to do a spinal twist, and really you can do whatever twist feels nice in your body. One way to do it is knees up and then over. But another way, and I think I'm going to do it this way today, is the feet stay on the floor and then the legs just gently tip over like this. Arms can be out. So this is just a gentler twist this way. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to do it like that. Just like me, kind of test out what you think would feel good. So if you've been practicing with me, you might have noticed that I always do a twist at the end. And this has a purpose. Twists are such an amazing way to help recalibrate, so to speak, the spine. Another way to say that is it's very soothing and nourishing to the spine. Now, this is our last pose, and then we'll take a Shavasana. And I want to give you more quiet time, more opportunity to just feel this as a meditative practice. Bringing back that Ujjayi breath at any time. changing sides. If you feel like taking any little movements, please do. I'm using the insight timer to time our poses. All right. Let's go ahead and twist the other way. Set yourself up on this side and in such a way that really serves you. Things might look different between sides. Might feel different. But the main goal is just to get set up in such a way that allows your body and your mind to just let go. Breathing and being. Breathing and being. Let yourself drift off here. Back through center. Feeling some rocks here. Or more of those windshield wipers. Or maybe a full body stretch. We're going to take a few minutes of Shavasana. Looks like that I'm going to be going over an hour, so I apologize for that. If you were trying to only have this be an hour, just take a couple minutes Shavasana if you can. Setting up your comfortable position. It doesn't have to be on your back, If laying on a side or on your stomach is more comfortable for you, please honor that. We'll begin our Shavasana with a cleansing breath. So inhale, sigh it out. And count 5 Ujjayi breaths for yourself. Deepening your breath now. You could start to move around your fingers and your toes. And placing your hands on your body. Feeling your own warmth. The movement of your breath. And most of all, the inner peace that you've cultivated. This peace is your true nature. You always have it within. So therefore, it's always accessible to you. Sometimes we just need to clear away what no longer serves us or takes us away from the peace that we are. And sometimes we just simply forget that peace is our true nature. And it's practices like these that help us remember. Feel your body expand as you take a long, slow inhale. Moving around the toes and the fingers. Stretching your body. You may like to take your knees up towards your chest and rock a little bit. Coming back up to a seat. Bring your palms together. And this is a gesture of reverence. It's called Anjali Mudra. And first and foremost, reverence for self. And when we add the greeting of Namaste, we are bowing to each other with that reverence. Namaste. Well, thank you so much for joining. I hope that you found this practice enjoyable and meditative. Hey, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm a newer, younger channel that's trying to grow, so your support is so appreciated. If you have any feedback, any requests, or anything you want to share with me in the comments, I always love to hear from you. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Were you saying hello too?